Hawu siyathokoza nina bendlondlo, siyathokoza nina besilo. Ngiyanibingelela emagumbini mane omhlaba, nginibingelela indzaweni tonke. I'm taking this time opportunity to greet each and every one of you, wherever we are, wherever you are. I take this opportunity to greet you. There's been some time not putting any video due to being busy. But let me take this opportunity today to put this video and talk about one of the topic that I want to talk about. The one who is greeting you is Mkhulu Themba Silindza, umafavuke njengedangamane. Umtulu kamakereta nehankarantima ututula nyama sekopolo. Ngayibona ikusacha ukuthi igcwele amafutha mgadlela kandaba inyanga mthakathi. Uye umtulu lonibingelela namhla. Hayi ngithi nami nje ngiyajabula ukuthi siphinde sihlangane kule channel Sinduna. Ngicela nje ukuthi usubscribe kule channel Sinduna ongatokhona ukuthi ushiwe ihloko lethi thide lesitawukhuluma ngato letiningi ngoba tiningi ihloko tiyeta lesitawukhuluma ngato tisendleleni kuningi nje lesitakuchaza sichaze ngemasiko sichaze ngebunyanga sichaze ngebungoma. So as I've said before that I will use mostly English because of my international audience who have asked me that I must please include speak more in English. Not only for them, even some we are in South Africa. When I fully speak in Siswati, some they miss the point. But though there are some words which I cannot put them in English because they don't come in English. Our today's topic is ISITHUNYWA. We are talking about ISITHUNYWA, which is one of the most sensitive topic, and I know that most people they are interested to know about such a topic. And I've written about such a topic, ISITHUNYWA, before. Some people, they sometimes get offended when you state some of the truth about ISITHUNYWA. Some, okay, they will accept the truth, but I will try my best to put it according to my experience and something that I know that I've grown under and explain exactly what is it ISITHUNYWA. Yeah, you know, most of my video, it's not something that maybe I go and research and read books, then I come now and talk here because I've read books. It's something that I've experienced, things that I know. As I've said that when I grown up in a home where, especially in my father's side, most of the people there, they were sangomas, they were tinyanga, my grandfather, his sisters, and his mother, his father, most of them, they were tinyanga. On my mother's side, most people there, they were attending church, especially the Zion church, and most of them, they were using ISITHUNYWA to do their things. So that's how it is. So what is ISITHUNYWA? ISITHUNYWA, after all, the name ISITHUNYWA, it means something that is sent. It means a messenger. ISITHUNYWA, it's a messenger. It's a messenger. The word ISITHUNYWA, it's similar to the word ingelosi, an angel, because an angel also, it's a word, I think it comes from Greek or something, but the meaning of the word angel, it means ISITHUNYWA. It means ISITHUNYWA, which means the word angel and the word ISITHUNYWA, they are the one and the same thing. I remember when I was still growing up, when I was in church, maybe a Zionist church, you will hear the prophets there, those who are prophesying, who have got ISITHUNYWA. They will say, Ingelosi itigim, Ingelosi, and Engelos, an angel. They will say, Ingelosi itigim, Ingelosi itigim, because there's ISITHUNYWA and Ingelosi. Those meaning, they mean the same thing, because Ingelosi, it means a sent one. Even an angel, it means the one that is sent. You see, so that's one and the same thing, those who are sent. So the word ISITHUNYWA, it means someone who is sent, which means it's a spirit that is sent. Yeah, so, but originally, when we talk about ISITHUNYWA, most of the people, they even connect it with what the people talk about when they say there is the Holy Spirit. remember that in the Bible, they say there is what we call the Holy Spirit. Even people who have got ISITHUNYWA, they will tell you that, it's the Holy Spirit. Sometimes when they do their prophets, they say, Uthi lo moya ingcwele lapha kimi. I know that some many people, they've yet that, because they say, Uthi lo moya ingcwele lapha kimi, the Holy Spirit, which in Hebrew we call it Ruach HaKodesh, and then, which means they connect it with things that happen in the Bible, because in reality, though some people, they like to argue it and they like to deny it, but the reality about ISITHUNYWA is that ISITHUNYWA, it's a concept that came after 1900, after there was religion in Africa. Before religion was introduced in Africa, there was nothing that was called ISITHUNYWA. We had emadlozi, those which we know, like when we talk about abalozi, when we talk about abandawe, we talk about abanguna, manono, amandigi. We had those ones which you know. Like now, if you can go to parts of countries where religion has not been mostly infected, those areas, especially in some parts of Mozambique, when you talk about ISITHUNYWA, they will even wonder what you are talking about. Those people, they know nothing about ISITHUNYWA. That's why in their practices, you'll never see them using candles. You'll never see them using all the water, all those things that are used by people with ISITHUNYWA, especially in those areas which have never been much affected by religion, because you will find ISITHUNYWA in places where religion has infiltrated such places. Like for example, after the 1900, there were Bantu churches that were started. People were departed, or they came out from the mainstream churches like Roman Catholic, Wesleyan Church, Methodist Church, all these churches, Episcopal churches, Church of England, and all the like, all these churches that are now Presbyterian, and they went to start things that churches which are normal called Bantu churches. Those churches, they include the Zionist Church, they include the ZCC Church, the Baptist Church, the Shembe Church, all these old churches that they are regarded as the Bantu churches. They started those churches, but the truth about the matter is that these churches also, they were started by people who have been inspired from the religion, from the Christianity, coming from Christianity, and when they started those churches. But then there was a time where Bunyanga was regarded as evil. It's better these days. It's becoming a fashion, after all, to be a Sangoma. You see, but there was a time where even Sangomas were killed. Sangomas were taken as evil. They were associated with witchcraft, which still happens even these days. And during those days, people who had those spirit of Bungoma, they had to convert and go to the church. And when they come to the church was to convert those spirits, so that the spirit will work like a prophet and work inside the church. And most of the people who had the spirit, they went into the church. And in the church, because it was not fashionable to become a Sangoma, you will die, you would lose your life sometimes. It was the missionaries, when they came to Africa, they regarded being a Sangoma as a witch, as evil, something that is not supposed to be practiced. So people who had Amandawe, people who have Amandigi, people who had Amanguni, people who had several spirits that we know, Manono whatsoever, those people, or Abalozi, those people had to convert those spirits so that they will be accommodated in church, and those spirits, so that those spirits will be accepted as a Holy Spirit, so that it would be like an angel is speaking via those people. That's why as it came to the time where they called those spirits ISITHUNYWA. And those churches, you know, the apostles, they what all these churches, some they were using drums, these traditional drums, and all the like, because those were people with the spirits. So you see those people, and they were accommodated in church. But those people, during those days, they were not even allowed to use muti. and they were to use water, and they were to use what they call isiwasho. That's where the name isiwasho came. They use isiwasho and use all the candles and use all the things that are being used, which they were not used. Like as I've said, that if you go to traditional sangomas, especially in the places like Mozambique, you will find that they don't have such. They don't even have this candle practice and all this other practice that you see that are used by people with Isithunywa. Yeah, so I'm not condemning people with Isithunywa, but what I'm saying I'm talking about how Isithunywa came about and how today we have God as part of the spirit. When you talk about the spirit, we have God, a spirit that we call it Isithunywa, which it was aligned with the Holy Spirit. We know that here in Africa we have got so many spirits which are good, so we don't have a one particular spirit that is classified as holy, because we have got several spirits here in Africa which are classified as good. Even the spirit of Abandawe, the spirit of Mkhulu, and those are also good spirits, because their intention is to heal and help people. It's not to destroy, because you know, though these days they sometimes associate bunyanga and witchcraft. I know that there are those who call themselves dinyanga, especially they are trending these days on the TV, whatsoever. They're trending on the social media, practicing witchcraft, which is not in line with ubunyanga. It's not in line with ubungoma, kuhamba kuthebula kwebantu, kuthethule emathuna and all the like. This thing is not in line with the practice that we have. So people, they will remember that when I was talking about the spirits, when I was speaking about Mdawe, whatever, I said each spirit has got a nationality, each spirit has got the roots, each spirit has got its own people, each spirit has got its own language. As I said, when we're talking about Amandawe, we have got the root of Umdawe, we have got the language of Isindawe, we have got the people of Ndawe, we have got the originality, the people where you will find the Bandawe. That's where you will find. But when it comes to Isithunywa, we don't have such, because it's a spirit that emanated around the 1900 when these Bantu churches were formed. That's where, and the spirit emanated after the conversion of Idlozi, so that those people who had Emadlozi, so Mandawa whatsoever, so that they would be accommodated in church. Those spirits were converted. I'm the witness to that. I've seen when they were doing those things. I have seen it, because in my mother's side, people, they were Zionists. Even my grandfather in my mother's side, he had Ubungoma, but his spirit was converted so that he could prophesy and work inside the church. I've seen that thing happening. And so many things. Some other people, it was successful. In some other people, it was not successful. But I know that these days, people, they are not able, those people who were able to convert spirits, most of them, they're dead now. People these days, unfortunately or fortunately for them, they are not able to convert spirits into Isithunywa. That's why these days, people, they will even leave church and go about Twasa, because the people, they are not able to convert spirit, which is good things. In fact, it's good things for that, because why must we convert something that is African? Why must we convert it? So when it comes to Isithunywa doesn't have a certain specific language like Isindawe. It doesn't have a specific language. Isithunywa doesn't have a specific root. That's why people by Isithunywa, they use Iziwasho, most of them. Some of them before, they used to even criticize Muti and not use Muti. But these days now they mix it, special now, because Bungoma, it's no longer now taken as a taboo as it used to be taken as a taboo. So now they can mix other things. They can mix even things for Ubungoma and mix and use Muti. But though in the previous they were using candles, and they were not even they were not mixing. They were using only Iswasho. These days are yet that people even, they say they but which I still don't believe that's true. That is truth. I don't believe in because Isithunywa doesn't have a root, and then Isithunywa doesn't have a language. Isithunywa works like a universal spirit. The way it was converted, it works like a universal spirit. It doesn't have a specific nationality on a specific nationality because it works like universal. After all, now we can't do anything because people they have ISITHUNYWA after those great grandfathers after they've passed on who were practicing ISITHUNYWA, they left the spirit for their children, and that's why their children these days they find themselves that they have to practice and do ISITHUNYWA and do all the other things that are associated with ISITHUNYWA because it was something that happens from their great-grandfather or great-grandmother or grandmother. You see, because most of those people, they refuse the calling. That's why these days there are so many sangomas, because most of the people, they refuse the calling. You know, in my generation, especially in my father's side, we have got few sangomas now that are left because previously most of them, they did accepted the calling. The sisters of my father, they were almost all sangomas. Of my grandfather, they were almost all sangomas. So because of that, we have got fewer and less of the people now among my generation who are practicing ubungoma, because of the very same thing that because in the past, most of them, they have accepted the calling. So, every spirit has got its own root. Every spirit has got its people. But now we know that people, they say you can go and initiate. I've met people who go for initiation for ISITHUNYWA and they stay there for months. Some they come 6 months saying their initiation and ISITHUNYWA. But the truth, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like initiation for ISITHUNYWA. But because now Uthwasisa has become a financial opportunity, so people they've created the means to make money. Because ISITHUNYWA need umuntu onesithunywa will need ukuthi sihlanjululwe. ISITHUNYWA siyahlanjululwa and ISITHUNYWA siyakhushulwa. Siyahlanjululwa, siyakhushulwa. Sihlanjululwa kiwe emifuleni, ISITHUNYWA sihlanjululwe kiwe kuma waterfalls. You go to the rivers, to the waterfalls, you use spring water so that isiphakame sikhuphuke ISITHUNYWA. It's a period, it's a process that, and before that process was done for free, man. It was done in church for free. There's no sacrifice of blood and anything that is needed when someone is lifting up ISITHUNYWA. There's nothing that is needed, but you just siyahlanjululwa, siyakhushulwa ISITHUNYWA. And some signs of ISITHUNYWA, they will be almost similar to signs of idlozi, because it's a lidlozi, but lidlozi that has been converted so that it can work in the church. So some of the signs might be even similar, because the majority of the people even now who have ISITHUNYWA, they also do have a madlozi. So they will experience the very same symptoms that are experienced by the same people. And the majority of the people who have got ISITHUNYWA, they are also supposed to go and twasa. They are also going to twasa. After they've twasa, then they can bangaskupula ISITHUNYWA basihlambulule baskupule. They are also supposed to go and twasa, because majority of them, they also do have emadlozi. They also do have lidlozi. Those people who have got ISITHUNYWA. So ISITHUNYWA works mostly in church. Especially in the old Bantu church, like the Zionist, the Apostle, the ZCC, the Nazareth Baptist Chamber Church, and all like that. That's where you will find those people working. And those people were people who had ubungoma, but because of the circumstance during those times, because when the missionary came, ubungoma was a taboo. So because it was a taboo, so those people, they had to convert and be accommodated in church and work within the church with that spirit. Then that's how it was formed. Then they will say, the Holy Spirit say this, because as I've said that it's also, the ISITHUNYWA is associated with the Holy Spirit. We have heard people, even on the social media, we have got ISITHUNYWA saying the Holy Spirit says this, the Holy Spirit says this, the Holy Spirit says this, because it's associated with religion, and it's also associated with angels. That's why the word ISITHUNYWA, it's angel. The word ISITHUNYWA, it's a messenger. Same word, the angel, it's a messenger. ISITHUNYWA is also a messenger. Those words, they're the same words, ingelosi and everything. That's why you'll find people who have got ISITHUNYWA, they say ingelosi iti, ingelosi iti, ingelosi iti. And those people, they were not allowed to use muti. That's why they use soil most of the time. They will use umqako kakhulu and use mhlambe libovu sometimes and use lithombonkala and all the like. They were not supposed to use pure muti as muti, but they will use candles instead of using buhlalu. They will use isesh. This sesh, it was a symbol of ubuhlalu. So instead of usebenzise ubuhlalu, as we use the beads, what ubuhlalu would call it the beads. Instead of the beads, you use this in that wool. They call it isesh. Then you use the sesh so that it was a substitute for the same. If let me say you were supposed to use ubuhlalu obumhlophe, then you are going to use wool emhlophe isesh that is white. And all the like, you see. So that's how all these things it happened, because of the situation and the circumstance, because by being a nyanga, it was a taboo. So it's unlike in nowadays, as it is, bunyanga, it's being attacked from within. You know, sometimes they say if you can't win them, then you must join them. These days, bunyanga has been attacked from within. They attack it from within. They've planted people from within who have come to destroy ubunyanga. That's why some they practice witchcraft and do all the other things. Labanye batwele instead of batwele instead of batwase, and then those people they destroy ubunyanga, because those people abatwalile, they do so much evil things. Ninebesilo ninebengwazi. Okamgadlela kandaba unyanga mthakathi umafavuke njengedangamane uthi kanjalo ngithi ingako lebe nginiphathele kona today. That's what I have for today. Those who want to know more, feel free to ask me. Feel free to contact me on 082 802 7931 082 802 7931. Contact me and subscribe to my channel Silindza on YouTube. My channel Silindza. Subscribe. There's so many topics that I'm still going to talk about, which are going to help you along the way. So that's what I've said. As I've said, that ISITHUNYWA siyahlanjululwa, siyakhushulwa. If you have ISITHUNYWA siyahlanjululwa, normally kuzoba nemajazi and all the like, la mhlophe, la green, la yellow, la njanjani, iphika and all the like that might needed for people abananjani nemaseshi mhlambe mabhidane and all the like. They might be needed a maseshi for the people who had got ISITHUNYWA. These are so many things that are normally needed for such people. Yeah, so but mostly ISITHUNYWA people, they must not allow to be abused. Kuthiwa bohlala emaphehlweni for 6 months. Ukuthi bathwasa for ISITHUNYWA, asithwaswa ISITHUNYWA, and ISITHUNYWA doesn't have iligobongo, because it doesn't have impande, doesn't have its own people, and doesn't have its own language like the other emadlozi. It doesn't have its own originality, and that's why ISITHUNYWA is general for all people, whether you are a Zulu, whether you are a Swazi, whether you are a Msuthu. ISITHUNYWA is like a general spirit, because it's a dlozi that was converted so that it will work in church. That's why when we have got it, it will require things that are happening in church. And some people, they will find themselves that they have to pray, they have to do all these things. Yet emadlozini we phahla, we don't pray. So they will have to do all those things. Why? Because of the ISITHUNYWA that is within them. Thokozani nebengwazi, thokozani nebesilo. Uyavalelisa ke umtukulu kamakeretane hankarantima uduladula nyama senkopolo ningayiboni kuzaca kodwa ugcwele mafutha. Ngithi nje thokozani ndawuwe nine bengwazi nine besilo nibe nilanga lelihle. Contact me if you need more information, and if there's something that you need, can link you even maybe to people who can help you with ISITHUNYWA. because this thing, before it was even free of charge to do it, especially in churches, even these days in most churches, isithunywa can be done for free of charge. Siyathokoza, siyinduna.